Regarding all these farmers that are now crying about possibly losing their farms because they voted for Trump, this is why you absolutely should not feel bad for any of these farmers that voted for Trump. Now, the ones that didn't vote, yes, feel sorry for them, go support them, do whatever you need to do. But the ones that voted for Trump, do not feel sorry for them, and let me tell you why. I am a builder, and I've been building shit in Oklahoma City going on like 20 years now, and farmers are not stupid. If you have the ability to manage a farm and understand the weather, the climate, your machinery, the chemistry that goes into your crops, you are not a stupid person. You're just not. And especially when you come from generational farming, you have the ability to look ahead and predict what you need to survive. And so when you have two candidates where you have Kamala Harris on one side giving you a whole list of shit that she's going to do for you and make your life better, and then you have Trump on the other side who can't even come out with a normal sounding sentence, and you still vote for that guy, and you are a farmer, you are either racist or sexist or both. And they're only crying now because now they are being treated exactly how they voted for other people to be treated. Got that? They are being treated how they voted for other minorities, people of color, everybody else, poor people, sick people. That's how they voted for other people to be treated. And now they're the ones being treated that way by losing their livelihood, their homes, their income, their farms. So do not feel sorry for them. This is exactly what they had coming. Quick follow-up as to why exactly would Trump be doing this to farmers anyways, and I'm guessing 99% chance it's because he wants to bankrupt farms so his corporate buddies can come in and do a land grab. Basically what you have been seeing the last few years, major companies buying up a bunch of rental houses and jacking up the price of rents, and it's all going to corporations. It's probably something similar to let these farms go to foreclosure and his corporate buddies be able to come in, swoop them up, and now you've got bigger companies involved in more of our day-to-day food.
And there's reports now that some farmers have 100% of their workers not showing up, and they're being forced to shut down. In South Texas, they grow grapefruit, they grow oranges, lots of different citrus varieties, leafy greens, onions, potatoes, peppers. So not only are the prices of what we can get going to go up at the grocery store, but also there's going to be massive food waste if there's nobody picking these crops when they're ready to be picked. I hope MAGA likes a diet of strictly processed foods.
It's about $250,000 to $300,000 worth of revenue. Just
left to rot.
Yeah, which is one thing, but it's also lost revenue for the workers that would have been able to pick them had they been here.
Oregon farmer Ian Chandler says about half his usual crew didn't show up this season, leaving him scrambling to backfill dozens of positions.
You're calling them, I assume, individually
Yes.
and saying,
Yes.
what's going on?
Yes. And so
what are they telling you?
Well, in the beginning of the season, it coincided, unfortunately, with a lot of really strong immigration enforcement down in Southern California, where our workforce comes from. And that kind of had a chilling effect on people wanting to move.
While Ian says his workers are hired with what seemed to be a valid ID and work papers, fear of ICE raids kept many of them from traveling north this year.
The state of Nebraska has fucked around and found out as they are ready to go bankrupt in the next 6 months. Their state's economy relies heavily on agriculture, and over 70% of their workforce is from undocumented immigrants. Knowing this, they voted for Trump, hoping that he would get rid of the undocumented immigrants. And now they are severely understaffed across the entire state, unable to find enough workers to replace the undocumented immigrants who supplied their state with enough workforce.
You know, when we talk about the struggles of American farmers, it's easy to imagine bad weather, drought, or even, pests. But what's happening right now goes far beyond the natural challenges of farming. Across the country, farmers are facing two devastating crises at the same time. That is labor shortages and skyrocketing bankruptcies. On one hand, immigration enforcement in states like California and Texas has scared off farm workers, leaving entire fields of crops rotting in the sun.
Hey everybody, it's Will. I wanted to let you know that I appeared on News Nation this morning to talk about the overwhelming increase in farmer bankruptcies this year in the United States of America. Already this year, since President Trump took office, we've had more farmer bankruptcies under Section 12 than we had in the entire year in 2024. This is being caused by a lot of the policies that President Trump passed, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to these bankruptcies. Now, a lot of you may not know that Chapter 12 bankruptcy was actually originally created for farmers and fishermen in order for them to reorganize debt when they ran into difficult financial times. That's happening a lot lately due to very specific policies on the part of the president. First, you have the tariffs. The tariffs have been on again and off again for quite some time. I just read this morning and it blew my mind that there have been over 132 different iterations of the Trump tariff policy that's been put out there to the American public and the rest of the world since his inception when he first came into office. Think about that. 130 plus versions of the tariff plan for this country. You ask yourself the question, how can any other country or how can any commodity organization in the United States of America plan around that lack of planning? It's very, very difficult to do. It's caused other countries to throw tariffs onto the United States of America, which have cost us overseas markets, not only in row crops, but also in beef. And the problem is getting worse and worse.
So we're now seeing multiple farm closures in Texas. With all of the discussions that were had about the effects of the deportation on farms and the service industry, we're talking planting season, which is all around March, April. The season where you're taking care of your plant, you're making sure there's no, weeding, bugs eating it, all of the things, birds, rabbits, all of that. So you got to take care of that. And now we're in harvest season, very near harvest season. But there's nothing, no executive order, nothing to remedy this when the remedy should have happened on or around May, latest June.
Grapefruits, oranges, onions, peppers, all wasted simply because there aren't enough hands to pick them. On the other hand, U.S. trade policies, especially constant tariff changes, have thrown international markets into chaos, cutting off buyers for American soybeans, corn, and even beef. The results? Farmers are being squeezed from both ends. And this isn't just about farmers. This is about all of us. Because when they lose, food prices and entire communities suffer. Now, let's break this down. Imagine being a farmer in Oregon waiting for your seasonal workers to arrive, only to discover that half of them didn't show up. Why? Fear of ICE raids. Even workers with, proper paperwork are too scared to move. For that Oregon farmer, it meant losing nearly $300,000 worth of revenue in just one season. Multiply that across the country, and the losses are staggering. Now, combine that with trade wars. The Trump administration, tariffs have changed over 130 times, so frequently that U.S. farmers can't plan, and foreign buyers no longer trust American markets. When corn is selling at $3 a bushel below the break-even point, farmers aren't just struggling, they are drowning. Rising energy costs make it worse, with some, predicting farm utility bills could soon, rival mortgages. This isn't just bad policy, it's creating a perfect storm of waste, debt, and despair across rural America. Now, here's the breaking point, reality. Farming is not just a job, it's a way of life. But for many American farmers today, that way of life is collapsing under pressures they can't control. Let's start with labor. agriculture in the US depends heavily on migrant workers. They are the backbone of fruit and vegetable harvesting, but immigration crackdowns, especially in Southern California, have created a chilling effect. Workers who used to move freely from region to region now live in constant fear. Even if they hold valid IDs and work permits, the threat of ICE raids has kept thousands from showing up. The consequences: entire crops left unpicked. In Texas, farmers have reported 100% work no-shows, forcing some to abandon harvest entirely. Grapefruits, leafy greens, potatoes, peppers, millions of dollars worth of produce wasted. This isn't just food lost at farm. It's food missing from grocery shelves. And when supply drops, prices go up. Families from across the country feel pain every time they shop. Now add the second crisis: bankruptcies. US farmers are filing for Chapter 12 bankruptcy at an alarming rate. In fact, there have been more bankruptcies since Trump took office than in the entire year of 2024. Why? Because trade policies have created chaos. The administration tariff policies have shifted more than 132 times, making it impossible for farmers to plan long term. Other nations responded with their own tariffs, cutting off US access to global markets. For row crop farmers, corn, soybeans, and wheat, this is catastrophic. Think about it. The break-even price for corn is around $4 a bushel, but prices have dipped below that, sometimes sitting at $3. That may not sound like much, but when you are harvesting thousands of acres, that difference can decide whether you keep your farm or lose it. Rising energy costs are the third nail in the coffin. Farmers are now facing predictions that utility bills could surpass mortgages payments. For some already buried under debts, that's terrifying. And here's the part that doesn't make headlines enough: the mental health toll. Bankruptcy doesn't just mean financial loss. It destroys credit. It means higher interest rates. Stricter loan conditions, and mortgaging away even more of your land and equipment just to stay afloat. Many farmers feel trapped in an endless cycle of debt with no way out. And tragically, this has led to a rise in farmer suicides. These are not just statistics. They are families torn apart, communities left grieving, generations of farming knowledge disappearing. So what does this mean for the rest of America? It means Americans are walking into a food security crisis. Worker shortages mean wasted crops. Bankruptcy mean fewer farms. Rising costs mean higher grocery prices. In the end, this isn't just the farmer's struggle. It's ours. Every wasted harvest, every farm lost, every voice silenced by despair ripples through the economy and in our dinner tables. This is why paying attention to these issues matters. Farming is the foundation of civilization itself, and right now that foundation is cracking. If we don't recognize the human cost of policies, if we don't see that tariffs and raids are not just political talking points but life or death realities for farmers, then we risk losing more than just foods. We risk losing an entire way of life. And here is the hard truth: when farmers fall, Americans falls with them. Now, guys, I want you to drop a comment below. Let me know what are your thoughts. Also, remember to subscribe, like, and share as well. And until next time, bye-bye.